Today we are going to learn about personal space and general space. Tia and Brandon are ready for today's physical education class. They are standing away or apart from each other. Their teacher taught them about personal space. Personal space is the space that you can call your own. It is that space just around you. Pretend that you are in a great big bubble and you are the only one in it. Inside that space, no one should be unless they are invited. That's like when someone comes too close to you. They are in your personal space. Now let's take a look at Tia. As we see, she's standing by herself. No one is around her. She's getting ready for PE class. Now, let's pretend that there is an imaginary bubble. That area around Tia is her personal space. No one should come in her space unless they are invited by her. Now, do you know that you also have a personal space? Okay, let me show you how to find it. All you need to do is stretch your arms and turn around left and right and left and right. When you swing your arms like that, you should not be touching anyone. If someone comes within that space and you happen to touch them, they are in your personal space. So when we are doing games like PE, you need to always stand away from anyone else. You are standing in your personal space. Now let's take a look at Miss and see she's ready to have games with them. Oh yes, she's ready. She's ready because they are following instructions and they are standing in their personal space. Now let's take a look at Tia at home. So this is Tia with her brother Jason. Do you notice how close they are standing together to each other? Okay, yes. Do you think that they are in their own personal spaces? No. What do you think they need to do? Someone has to move. Great. Now Jason has his personal space and Tia has her personal space. So do you know that sometimes when you keep in your personal space, you don't touch anyone else, you are keeping them from getting angry with you. Because sometimes people get angry when you come too close to them or when you come into their personal space. So you need to remember that. Now, let's look at another set of people. This is Miss Hernandez and this is Mr. Smiley. Are they standing in their own personal spaces? What do you think someone needs to do? Someone? Very good. Right, they need to stand away from each other and to check that they are in their personal space. All they need to do is swing their arms. So when Miss swings her arms, she's not touching. And when Mr. Smiley is swinging his arm, he's not touching. So they are now in their own personal space. Now we are going to learn about general space. Now, general space is really all the places we can move without touching someone. So if you're in your yard, you can walk around the yard. there's a fence that keeps you in. That is the general space. If you are in the bedroom, you can walk around the bedroom. The bedroom will be your general space. If you are in a classroom and you can move around the classroom will be your general space. Now, let's take a look at Miss again and see what she can do. Right. Are you seeing those white circular or oval mats? That is marking where Miss is in her personal space. Do you realize that she's moving in her personal space? Not touching anyone? Yes. The first picture, Miss is just standing there. The next picture, Miss is moving. And the last picture, Miss is jumping. All of that in her personal space. She's not touching anyone. Let's look at another set of pictures. Right, let's see what actions Miss is doing. So Miss, first of all, she's clapping in her personal space. Another picture shows that she's raising her hand and waving in her own space. And the next picture shows that she's lifting weights in her personal space. So she's always keeping distance. Now let's take a look at some children and let's see whether they are standing in their own personal space or if they are standing in the personal space of others. So the girl is listening to music and the boy is playing a guitar. Are they in their own personal space? Yes. Let's take a look at another picture. A girl is drinking tea and a boy is pouring some tea. Someone is not in their personal space. Someone is too close. Who is that person? Right. So the girl has to step away. She has to move away from the boy's personal space. Very good. Are these children in their own personal spaces? Yes, the boy on the left is doing a handstand and the boy on the right is reading a book, all in their own personal space. One girl is selling donuts and the boy is eating a donut. Someone is not in their personal space. Right, the boy, he needs to step away. Now we are going to look at how we can move in the general space. Remember I mentioned general space? Remember the general space is all the places you can move without touching someone. All right, so let's take a look at some pictures and see movement in the general space. Right, this boy is on a skateboard. He is moving. Right, he's moving on the skateboard. Of course, he is moving around as far as he can go. There has to be a limit in terms of where he can reach. I'm sure his mommy told him where he can stop. Right, so he has a general space that he can ride his skateboard in. And this girl is jogging. She's moving in her general space. She's jogging. This boy is running in his general space. Could be a yard, could be the schoolyard, could be his backyard. Let's see another one. This girl is riding her skates. The general space could be a park. The general space could be a paved yard. All right, let's look at another one. Okay, well, we have reached to the end. So now I'm sure you understand the difference between personal space and general space. So personal space is you and all the space that is just around you. And the general space is all the places or parts of the area you are that you can move. So personal space is you and the bubble. Think about the big bubble around you. And the general space is all the places you can move. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.